Here we are at the beginning of a new year. And one thing I hear all the time is so many people come to me after they've been through their New Year's celebrations, go, I'm doing a detox. And my response, of course, is, how's that going for you? And they're like, I feel terrible, but I know it's good for me. So I'm just going to power through. And I'm here to tell you that is absolutely the wrong answer. Our bodies do detoxify naturally. Sometimes they need a little assistance, but you should never feel terrible when you're doing a detox, and you should never power through anything like that, which is why I am so delighted to be talking with my friend and colleague, Bridgit Danner. Let me tell you just a little bit about her, and then we are going to dive in and break this down for you. Bridgit Danner has been a licensed acupuncturist since 2004 and a certified functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner since 2015. After losing everything to toxic mold, Bridgit now educates about toxins and how to detoxify with a functional healthcare approach through her online community at bridgitdanner.com. She is the founder of a line of supplements, functional detox products, and she's the author of the Ultimate Toxic Mold Recovery Guide. Take back your home health and life. Bridgit, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Mira. Always lovely to speak with you.
Yes, absolutely. So tell me, what's your thought when someone goes, oh, I'm detoxing and I feel terrible, but I know it's good for me?
Yeah, I would love to break that down. So, if you're a detox, and first of all, I'm a big fan of detox. I probably detox in some way every day, but I don't feel horrible every day. I do have a story about overdoing it recently, so I'm human. Like sometimes we overdo it. If you feel horrible, that's usually inflammation, right? And because you're usually releasing toxins faster than you can process them out. So, you're getting a headache, you feel sore, you feel lethargic. It's too much. It just needs to be back down. So it's not like an all or nothing. It's just back it down. I remember years ago we were doing a detox group, and one young man in the group had previously had cancer and all the medications that come with it. And he was not feeling well, and he was losing weight like insanely fast because I think all the fat was storing the toxins. He was losing like 2 pounds a day or something like that. It was too fast, right? It didn't mean the detox was wrong. He just had this huge load that he needed to slow down on. So, yeah, that's one thing that happens, is just inflammation. Another thing that can happen is getting constipated / having a caffeine withdrawal headache, because one of the biggest things that's hard for people to let go of when they do like a Whole30 or some kind of clean diet, if they let go of coffee or their caffeine source, suddenly the body has been relying on that for motility, and it affects vasodilation and constriction. So if you just cut that, you're going to feel that. It probably is only a few days, 5 days maybe at the most, but it's painful, right? And if you're trying to work and do things. So in that cleanse group, in the cleanse we used to do in my clinic, we'd say if you need to have an ounce of just pure, nothing in it, organic coffee, just to take that edge off for these few days, do that rather than be in so much pain. Because it really is meant, and whenever in future cleanses, we're always like, cut down gradually before the cleanse starts. But yeah, I think the biggest player is just toxins are coming out faster than you can process them, which means they're just floating around, giving you those symptoms, probably just going to go land somewhere else. So it's really not doing as much as you think it is, right? It's one step forward, one step back. So yeah, definitely figure out how you can make it easier on yourself. Or say you're just moved to a clean diet and you're feeling a little off. When you detox, yeah, like you are releasing, so you could just feel a little like your body's doing a lot of work. You could take Epsom salt baths, take a
And
nap.
hydration is huge too. I found for a lot of clients, when they start struggling, either with constipation or some of the side effects of trying to detoxify their body, it's amplified by the fact that they don't have enough good hydration on board for their body to actually help push some of this stuff out. Because of course, urination is one way that we release, sweat is another. And so that's
Yeah, that
huge.
might highlight their dehydration. That's a good point. So we go through the kidney and the bowels, the breath,
Mhm.
actually, the skin. Am I forgetting anything? So there's like various routes you can think about to exit. Certainly the liver, obviously that's not the
Yeah.
final exit place, but sometimes when people think about detox, here's like another myth. It's just taking everything away. Your liver needs tons of nutrition.
Mhm.
So there's a balance. Like I do think like fasting can be really powerful, but if you're moving into a detox with a deficit of nutrition, and then you're maybe not giving it any nutrition while you're detoxing, it's just something to think about. It's not always taking away. It's also supporting the body and with water and good food and all that.
Yeah. And so, what are some of your favorite things that people can easily do at home that are really helpful to support their body, to support that process?
Okay, one thing, if people can see, I know not everyone can see, is dry brushing.
I love my brush. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just like a little one that I really like. You can even travel with it. Uh, Dry brushing moves at least superficial lymph vessels. So it just helps get things moving and keep from stagnating in the body. Again, it's just an assist for the body's natural process. The body does want to detoxify, but if we're not moving enough or getting exposed to too many toxins, that's kind of thing, we not be detoxifying very well. So dry brushing is something you can safely, literally every day. And it's energizing, as you probably know, Mira. It's
Right.
good for your skin health. So it has some added benefits, especially if like you're doing a detox and maybe you don't have your coffee and you're feeling a little off. It can give you a quick win.
The other thing that I love about dry brushing, especially in the drier months, it really helps my skin. It's not, you're not using a stiff bristle, but it's enough of a brush that I feel like I'm exfoliating a little bit. And so that feels
It
good.
is,
You know, I like
yeah.
to do it before I hop in the shower and then get in. It feels really nice.
Yeah, totally. And winter can be the time like I avoid it because you have to get all your clothes off and it's cold out. But it's actually, yeah, one of the best times because you are neglecting that like physical touch to your body when you're like in your sweatpants all the time.
Now, I know you've mentioned coffee a couple of times, and so you have a certain coffee practice that you highly promote, and I'd love for you to share that.
Yeah, I brought over my coffee enema kit because people are always like fascinated. I'll tell you the question I first always get, how is that different from drinking it? There's an obvious way, right? It's going in a different end, but it's just different, right? When you drink something, you digest it in a different way with your stomach acids and all that. A coffee enema, I'll show in a second here. The coffee's going up your rectum, right, to your lower bowels. But the idea is the coffee through the circulation from the bowels to the liver, some of the nutrients or active ingredients from the coffee are getting exposed to the liver
Mm.
where it can facilitate some activity of glutathione. It tends to pump the bile from the stimulation of the coffee. So this is how it's creating its action, right? And you're sitting and holding the coffee for maybe a couple rounds of 15 minutes or something like that. It's different than drinking it. Drinking coffee can have some benefits, especially if it's like black coffee, but it's just not quite the same category of
Yeah, the
benefits.
frappuccinos at popular coffee chains are not exactly doing anything great for you.
No, yeah, I was just learning that when you put like cream, and it probably goes for non-dairy creamers too, in your coffee, it blocks some antioxidant activity. I haven't graduated to no cream in my coffee yet, but I was like, oh, that's occasionally I will, but so I have one that's like a bag. It's like a rubbery bag. and you have to hang it up a little above you for gravity to put the coffee down. And then it has this valve to stop the flow when you need to, or for cleaning purposes. This is like the tip or whatever for putting it in you. And it's only like, you're only putting in like maybe 2 inches. So it's nothing crazy. Generally, it's just nothing crazy at all. It's just something that in our culture we haven't done in the last 50 years or whatever. So it seems weird. I started it when I was at my sickest from mold, because you'll try anything. And it gave me like the dry brushing at least 4 or 5 hours where I felt like my old self again. So it's a practice I still do. I'm actually going to do it after this because I've been over detoxing accidentally in the last couple weeks. And it just helps me reset. It does take a few times to get used to doing it. So I encourage people to not give up the first time. And my biggest tip is go slow. Obviously, if you're going to flood your body with 4 cups of coffee, it's not going to stay in there. So just do the amount that is tolerable.
You feel you can hold comfort.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a
Without.
learning process to figure out what that is. My routine may be different than someone else's routine, but you just learn it yourself. And I've been surprised, Mira, like how many clients come to us doing them because they've been down a similar road as I was, and they love it doing it. So
And so I'm gonna ask the question because of course a lot of people who follow me have gut health issues. And so they're going to have questions. Is it okay for someone who has some sort of irritable bowel disorder? Is it okay if someone is prone to constipation or that kind of thing? Will it help with that?
it's not for if you're dealing with like fissures, prolapse, hemorrhoids, like any kind of bleeding issues, like if there's any kind of tissue damage, it's definitely not for you. Constipation, generally great for you. Irritable bowel, it is stimulating. And again, go slowly. Some people do just hot water as their first round. I really don't think it's a problem. Even for me, and I've been doing it for years, sometimes it'll make a little deeper cramping. I don't know if that is my gallbladder or what, but it's temporary. Yeah, one thing I've run into is people who are older and don't have good mobility. It may not be a fit because it is a lot of kind of maneuvering and stuff. You don't necessarily have to do it in a bathtub or a shower because it's really not that messy. So if you're very tall, you could just put like a towel on the bathroom floor or something like that. You do want to be near a toilet. You don't want to be way across.
Just bring a good book and hang out
Yeah,
for a little bit.
yeah, it's a hanging out process. So yeah, I usually say speak with your practitioner. I had one client have what appeared to be some tissue coming out. I never saw it, so to say for sure, but I was really worried for her. And I was like, go to urgent care if you think you need to. That same client has actually gotten back into coffee enemas and is doing fine. But yeah, I do say with caution because I don't know everyone's history. I've heard like if your bile duct is like clogged with like parasite eggs or whatever, like it could be really hard on you. You may not know.
Right, because you can't get the bile dump.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I like your
look into it.
suggestion to start with water if you're someone who's maybe a little concerned about how to get started with this kind of process, just to learn what it feels like and how your body responds and everything. And then from there, begin to gradually work your way up. Like you said, you don't start with 4 cups at one time if you're not ready for it.
Yeah, yeah. And there are other types of enemas like you can do with like herbal teas. I just haven't moved into them. Some people say I don't like caffeine, or you do have to have it with caffeine. It's that the action won't happen with decaf. It is a little stimulating, but it's not as stimulating as drinking coffee. So you just have to test it for yourself.
Good to know. Good to know. Now, I know you also have a whole line of supplements that are functionally supportive for people when they're detoxifying. And I would love for you to share some of them with us. What have you?
Yeah, yeah. And if people are listening, we can chat more about like reasons to detox and frequency and stuff. But our supplements were with mold in mind. They detox a lot of things. I'll start. You talked about hydration. This is electrolyte I designed. I feel like there's a lot of electrolytes now, but while I was designing it, I felt like there weren't that many that were like sugar free, didn't taste like super artificial. So when you're going through mold and detox, you do need to hydrate a lot. And you can be going through a lot of water soluble vitamins at the same time. So this has some B vitamins for your liver, vitamin C, has some like herbal antioxidants. We also like people to use the sauna a lot, so it's good to replace.
And one
Actually,
of the things I like about your electrolytes, unlike others out there, it doesn't have that almost salty, heavy, salty undertone to it. Because some of them, it's hard to swallow because it's just too unpleasant. It's too much. I
too
have a very
salty.
sensitive palate for that. And so yours is great.
Interesting. That might be like a more of a keto blend that I'm not sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
kept some of my ingredients like a little low. And some people are like, why don't you put more of this, that? It was like, it's the first time out and I didn't want to overload anything. So yeah, I think it's great to do I do one every day. And I actually, for me, I add even more potassium. I add a whole scoop of potassium. Something about me, I need a lot of potassium. So that could be a really simple thing. Like I always do it first thing in the morning. I have this with some mega pre fiber and my potassium. And then I'm like covered. I've taken it for the day. I'm giving my body like some super hydration when I.
Yeah. And the other thing that's really nice about that is if you're doing it with the fiber, you're also giving your system a good fiber shot at the beginning of the day to hopefully help with elimination as you move through the day. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice to know people wonder about timing. For me, I tolerate all that really well in the
Mhm.
morning. Not for the morning is this product. This is our binder, which is also a bowel mover. So if you haven't heard of a binder, it's something that chemically or physically is meant to bind toxins, mostly in the bowel. Some claim to do it in the bloodstream. Ours is really a bowel based binder, and then it has a few ingredients to move the bowels, which I personally find to be strong, but some people don't. I just tell people take it at night. To me, it will move my bowels in half an hour, unless it's overnight. But yeah, we've had some people say, oh, it's not as strong as something else I take. Unfortunately, a lot of people are constipated out there. I'm sure you
Yeah.
know. And
It's
when you're
such a
detoxing,
huge problem.
huge problem. So I thought a lot of people have to take a constipation aid while they take a binder. So I thought, why not put it together? I'm actually not a very constipated person, so it's not usually something I take, but
Yeah.
it's a good fit for a lot of people. You need to be having a bowel movement when you detox, or again, we're going to have that recirculation problem potentially. Really, you want to be having 2 or 3 bowel movements a day, ideally, like a dog, I would say, just like your dog does. It's usually stimulated from having a meal or having some movement. So I think it's a good kind of goal to keep in mind. If you're only going to the bathroom every few days and you think it's normal, I really encourage you to learn more about how to move the bowels and like what creates movement of the bowels, that kind of thing.
I think that's such an important point because that is one thing that people are so reluctant to talk about, and they don't understand how very important it is that we must eliminate. Because, like you said, the longer that bolus sits there, in the system, the body just starts reabsorbing it. And then those toxins are recirculating, and that makes things even worse. So we really need to be able to make sure that we have that healthy elimination.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and there's lots of ways to do it, like the fiber we talked about, or getting more oils, getting more water, magnesium. For me, digestive enzymes are my
Mhm.
like favorite way to keep things moving. You can do bitters. I'm sure you have even more suggestions. You can do, what are those things called? Prokinetics to get movement going. So everybody has their different prescription, and you shouldn't be relying on pills forever, so to speak. If you need it now, great. I think with aging, we do make less digestive
Mhm.
enzymes. That could be a forever thing. It just optimizes our food and keeps things moving. I do always encourage people like think about your brain health if you're
Mhm.
constipated, because that's where the signal starts. So, luckily, detoxing is one way to help your brain health. Also, the same things that are good for constipation, like magnesium and fish oil, are great for your brain. Fiber, great for your brain, also for your bowels.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think that sometimes we think first, we think constipation is unique to us. And then we think it's just like a very specific issue of things not moving, but things start moving from the top
Because we
all
get
the
the
way down.
signal.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of steps to check along the way why you may not be having a bowel movement.
And I also love that everything we've talked about today, from building awareness to of how often we're eliminating, to incorporating dry brushing, looking at functional supplemental support, possibly coffee enemas, all those kinds of things. Each one of those is one piece of the puzzle to developing greater body awareness. And that really is, like you said, one of the biggest parts to detoxifying is to really be able to check in with our body, see how we're doing, how we're feeling, what do we need, and then being able
Mm,
to meet that need.
that's a great point. I think especially as we age, to be like not just be like, oh, I'm getting older and everything's breaking down. What?
You can be vibrant. You do not lapse into a chair.
Exactly. Instead of like just giving up, be curious. When I'm
I
aging
love
too,
that.
just like everyone else, it's like, huh, what can I tweak to make like I'm tweaking right now when I work, Mira, I give myself like the biggest tension headache because I'm like, "Meh," and I'm not taking breaks and I'm jaw clenching and I don't think I. So that's one thing I'm trying
Mhm.
to hack right now. So yes, it's me, but it's also just habits I've taken on. I'm trying to like work on my blood sugar because I really crash from carbs. So we all have, I feel like everyone should have these little projects that they're trying to figure out. And sometimes it might feel like you're never going to figure them out because you have to experiment, but you usually can figure out what it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you've certainly done a lot to help people figure out some of the pieces to the puzzle for detoxifying. And of course, definitely from recovering from mold. First of all, thank you so much for sharing such great wisdom. And I love this quote. I'm going to figure out how to use it somewhere in what we're doing. Don't give up on aging, be curious. I think that's fabulous. If someone wanted to know more about you, where do they find you?
Yeah, my main website is just my name, bridgitdanner.com, and we have some free ebooks and it links to our shop and we have many blogs. So yeah, I'd be happy to have you come be a part of our community.
That sounds great. It was fabulous to talk with you. And folks, I will put all the links and everything that we've talked about below. So you'll be able to reach Bridgit and connect with some of the wonderful things that she's talked about. And while you're there, please remember to click and subscribe and check back again soon for more great information. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye, Bridgit.
Bye everyone.